So one interesting thing I'd like to point out to you about this car, and that is that the battery system, the battery pack, has to stay cool. So occasionally, when you have the car parked outside like I do, it's a very warm day today, the car will turn itself on to cool the battery. So right now, if you listen to it, you can actually hear the car on, you can hear it running, and it's actually cooling the battery, which is kind of a cool thing actually when you think about it, because the whole idea is to keep the car at a constant temperature. So when you have it parked outside, you will hear it sometimes running like that, and you go, that's weird. I mean, I was standing in the garage just on the other side behind me here, and it was weird because I'm standing in there and all of a sudden I hear the car running, and I'm like, why is the car running? And then I remembered, oh, it's sitting outside and it's very hot out. So it's actually keeping itself cool. I think also in the wintertime, I'm not positive about this, it actually warms the battery slightly. Same principle applies. You want to keep the battery within a range. That's how you prolong the battery life. You know, if you've ever taken your phone and left it somewhere where it's in the sun, sometimes it'll tell you it overheats and it has to cool back down before you can charge it or do anything with it. Same principle applies here. So it's actually kind of interesting. You can hear it there, right? So let's have a little fun here and we'll look under the hood and see what's going on. Yeah, we'll just take a look at the engine and see what's going. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot. This car has no engine. You can't actually see the battery pack. It is underneath the car. It's actually goes across the bottom of the car. It starts somewhere probably about here. I'm guessing somewhere right around here, and goes pretty much to the trunk area back here, right around where the wheel well is. So right around in here somewhere is where the battery is. So it actually sits under the chassis here. You can't see it, obviously, but it sits underneath there. And so you can't actually get to it or see it or anything. I think I've heard if you lift the car, you can actually see the bottom of the battery pack, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter to me. But the thing is, making a little joke here, that you can't actually see anything once you're in the compartment here in the front. It's really just a trunk. There is no engine. There is nothing to see. So it's kind of interesting when you think about it. You really can't see the battery. You hear it turn on, you hear it turn off, but that's about it. Now, when I opened the frunk, it actually turned the battery off because it assumes I'm going to get in the car, and it's waiting for me to actually start the car and get in it. Once I close the frunk again, it should turn back on, and then you'll see it, you'll hear it running again. But really kind of a funny thing, interesting, one of those quirky things that it takes some getting used to, that it actually turns itself on at times. Now, as I get in the car, you can actually hear it warming up a little bit, and you can actually hear the air conditioner coming on. Let me turn the radio down here. You can actually hear it coming on. I can turn the air up. You can hear it, it just cycled on. I'll turn the air up a little bit. And what you notice is, when I turn the air on, I also have the climate control here. I can do something with it. So I have the choice of having it off when I'm out of the car. I can leave the climate on, which allows me to, if I'm going to be gone for, you know, I park somewhere and I'm out of the car for 15 minutes or something, I can actually see that the car stays cool while I'm out. It'll still lock the doors, still do what you want to do, but it'll actually let you walk away from the car and leave the climate on. Or I can set it to dog mode, and dog mode leaves the air conditioner on at a lower level so that if you have your pet in the car, your dog in the car, you can leave him in there safely. And if I put it on dog mode, it actually does put a message up on the screen when I get out of the car and tells people what's going on. So it changes the level. You can hear that it actually ramped up rather a lot to cool down the car, because right now the car is kind of hot. I mean, it's very hot outside, so it made the car very hot for a minute here. But when I put it in dog mode like that, if I get out of the car, it should turn the dog mode on and should show you that signal. And of course, it leaves the car running while this is going on. So the car is actually on right now, and it's actually blowing air in the car, so it keeps it nice and cool. So I could keep a dog in the car. I would never recommend keeping a child in the car or anything like that, but theoretically, it would keep it cool. Maybe you have a relative who has trouble getting out of the car, and you want to leave it on for a couple of minutes while you step into a store. Theoretically, you could do that. Again, not sure that it's the right answer. I'm honestly not sure if it's the right thing for a dog either, but in general, it's a good idea. It allows you to do something with it. And then when I come back to the car, dog's probably happy to see me, I would guess, and back off. So then I can, oh, there you go. Look at that. It turned it, left it on. So this is what you'd see when you're out of the car. So anybody that walks by knows that the car is on, the dog is safe in here. It's a different situation than it would be in any other car. Now, many years ago, I had a Greyhound. And we used to drive this much smaller car than even the Tesla. And we go around different places. The Greyhound is a very large dog. He's over 80 pounds. And we used to go places, and sometimes when I'd go in somewhere, I'd leave the car on. and I'd leave the windows open and the car on. I'd go in somewhere if I wasn't going in for more than a couple of minutes. And it was always kind of funny because I never worried about him because, first of all, with the windows open and the car on, nobody's getting in the car with a dog that big. And second of all, with the air conditioning on, he was staying relatively cool. Right or wrong, I think I was okay with it, in the situations I did it in. He seemed to enjoy it, so no big deal there. But it was always kind of funny when I do that. So this is a step up, definitely, from where we were with the idea of having pets in the car. Certainly something has changed here. So now, let's see if I can turn it off. Let's see, how do I turn it off? Do I hit a button somewhere? I'm not sure. I'm hitting buttons in different places, and I can't seem to figure out how to turn it off. I pressed the brake, and it turned the mode off. So that's how you do it. Now let's just see. Yep, it's back to the off mode there. No problem. We're good there. And everything's cool. We're back to having it off. So now I get out of the car and go back in the house.